So I had completely forgotten about this story, but y'all, it's a doozy. It's a doozy. Okay, it goes along with the Ebony story that I just posted earlier today too. So I had completely forgotten about this memory, and I'm like, why did I forget about the memories? Because I normally remember like everything, but then you're like, well, it kind of makes sense in context why you would have forgotten that specific memory. But let me fucking tell you, watching the Super Bowl and seeing the commercial, the Christianity commercial where everybody's washing everybody's feet, the memory came back. It came flooding back. And I was like, oh my God, I have got to share this story. Okay, so this shit takes place the day after Ebony decided to kill everybody, okay? So that night, Ebony decided to kill everybody, and we were locked up in that room for like 2 or 3 hours. And then, like, the police and the SWAT came, and they came in with, like, riot gear and shit. Like, it was no joke. But that shit went down at, like, 2 a.m., okay? And then we couldn't stay there in that cottage because it was, like, a crime scene. Like, they had literally taken knives and, like, stabbed the furniture and, like, stabbed holes in the walls and, like, cut hairspray cans on fire and, like, beds were on fire and shit. So it was not safe for us girls to stay there. So Adelaida, there are 3 cottages. There's Lyons, Cummings, and Reuters. This happened in Cummings Cottage. So then they split the girls up, okay? Now here's another important fact. Only Ebony got taken away. There were 5 other girls that were with Ebony that were just as equally like, kill all them bitches, okay? But only Ebony got taken away. So the next morning, we're in a new cottage with new girls that don't know what's going on because they were sleeping when everything went down. And staff does not wake you up and say, hey, here's what happened. Here's an update. Nah. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. So we're sitting at the breakfast table with all these new girls that are like, who the fuck are they? Why the fuck are they here? What the fuck is going on? And we're just chilling. And I remember I was like eating it was French toast. And I remember eating my French toast and just being like, hey, so y'all want to still kill us? Because you was pretty serious about murdering me. You wanted to slit my throat, right? Do you still feel that way? And the girl that was right across from me was like, no, I ain't got no beef with you. Ebony had beef with you, and so I had beef with you, but I ain't got no personal beef with you. And I was like, all right, fine, so we can squash this, right? And she was like, yeah, we can squash this. But the girl at the other end of the table, like at the end of the table, she yells up and she's like, no, I ain't okay, because you the one that got Ebony kicked out of this place, and she was my only fucking friend. And I was like, bitch, I did not get Ebony kicked out of this place. Ebony got herself kicked out of this because of her fucking behavior. What the fuck are you talking about? So then I got really aggressive, and the staff came in, because normally the staff let the girls, we cook our own breakfast, we feed ourselves, we clean it up. Staff is in the office. Like, it is not like they are not babysitting us, okay? Very clear. Independent living. Like, you do your own shit. Staff don't get involved unless they absolutely have to. So that's when staff came in. And they came in and they, like, slammed their hand down on the table and they were like, absolutely not, ladies. You need to calm down and you need to stop this right now. And I was like, I was like, fuck that. I was like, fuck that. I'm not the reason why Ebony got kicked out. And this staff person was not from our group home, did not know the scenario, had not been briefed on it. So was just kind of like, well, I don't really know what happened last night, but I know y'all need to stop fighting. And I was like, whatever. So I took my butter knife back to my room because I was like, bitch, if you're going to try to slit my motherfucking throat, I'm going to try to slit your motherfucking throat with a butter knife. But I took that butter knife back to my room because I was like, I ain't fucking playing, all right? So the staff recognized, like, immediately, there's tension. There's a lot of tension between these girls. We need to do something to, like, quell the tension, to, like, calm the tension. You know what they did? I swear to fucking God. They took us to the chapel. And there were 6 chairs set up, and each chair had one of those old metal white, like they're like enamel, they start white, but then the white starts to wear off, so then they're like only white in the inside kind of bowls. And there was like on a farm, like old school bowls on a farm, you would find them. So there was like 6 of those, and each bowl had a washcloth and a bar of soap in it. And we walk in, and they're like, all right, 6 of you sit down. So I was one of the first ones to sit down because I'm always like, what the fuck, I'll do it. So I sat down. I was one of the first ones to sit down. And then there's only 12 girls in a group home, okay? So only normally there's only 12 girls in a group home, but at this point there's like 18 girls in a group home because you've got the 12 girls at Lyons and then us. So there's a bunch of girls, right? I sit down 5 of the girls sit beside me, and then they're like, all right, 6 of you go sit in front of them. So then 6 girls come and sit in front of us. And they're like, okay, here's what we're going to do. You are going to wash each other's feet. And they explained to us that the whole point of the washing of the feet, by the way, if you don't know, if you're not like in the know, Jesus washed his disciples' feet as a way to humble himself before them, to say, I am no better than you. The dust that is on your feet is the same as the dust that is on my feet. And you clean my feet, I clean your feet. We are equals. He humbled himself before them. That was the whole point of it. So they were like, we're going to wash each other's feet. And we all knew, because like we all knew that. Like we all knew the story of Jesus washing each other's feet. So immediately we knew, like, okay, so this is like to humble ourselves. Okay, we get it. But it wasn't just that you were washing the person's feet. While you were washing the person's feet, you also had to say all the things that you loved about that person until the staff was like, okay, rotate. And every single girl got their feet washed by every single other girl, and every single girl washed every other girl's feet, if that makes sense. So it's like I sit in a chair with 5 other people, and then these people, and then we rotate, 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 and then we rotate. And it took a long, long time, like hours, to get this process done. But when I tell you that it fucking worked, it fucking worked. Like, that's the part that I was like, looking back on it, I was like, I cannot believe they made us do that. I cannot believe that was their solution, was we're going to have these girls wash each other's feet. But it worked, y'all. It worked. We squashed all of our beef that day, and at no point, and I stayed there for longer than I should have at that point. Like, I stayed there for way longer than any other kid that was ever there. And by the way, I'm also the only child to ever graduate from Elida after leaving Elida. So it was like, I stayed there for a really, really, really long time. And nothing else on that level ever happened again. Ever. So it fucking worked. But I had to share that with y'all. I had totally forgotten about that memory. And like, when I was watching the Super Bowl, I was like, oh my God, that's right. That group home had us wash each other's feet after Ebony. And then my next thought was like, how did you forget that? And it was like, well, the night before, Ebony did try to kill you. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense that you would lose that in the craziness of everything else that happened the night before. But how about I fucking remembered that shit? And I cannot believe that they did it. But it fucking worked.